Hello, everyone. This is Brad Johnson, reporter with the Texan. I'm here with State Rep Matt Krause from Fort Worth. Matt, how's it going?
It's great. How about you?
Yeah, it's going well. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Matt will not be returning to the legislature next time. He ran for first Attorney General and then ran for Tarrant County DA unsuccessfully. But we're going to review Matt's time in the legislature, see what you think about how many years was it that you were in there?
10.
10.
Yeah.
The decade
right.
in the state legislature. Well, what do you think are some of your biggest accomplishments in your time there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an incredible honor, honestly. When you think about very few people have ever in the history of Texas been able to sit on that floor and do the things that we got to do. When you think about there's 33 million people in Texas, only 150 of them get to do what I was privileged to do the last 10 years. It's really an unbelievable honor. So, but in those 10 years, we were able to do a lot of stuff, especially on the pro-life front. The heartbeat bill was kind of one of the huge capstones to the entire. That's one of the animating principles that got me into public service in the first place, was that pro-life issue.
Something you guys had been working on for many years.
That's exactly
and finally
right.
got across the line.
That's exactly right. Another one is the Second Amendment sanctuary state. I'd been working on that since I came in 2013. We finally got that across the line, which has become into a lot more focus now with Washington, D.C. pushing a lot of potential gun control measures that I think might violate constitutional rights and the Second Amendment rights of Texans. So that's huge. Spending cap bill. I've been working on that for several sessions. We finally got that across the finish line this last time. And then a host of religious liberty, election integrity, border security type issues, whether it's banning sanctuary cities, whether it's cleaning up our election code, ensuring churches and people can stay open and worship the way they want to. So on a host of different levels, I feel like hopefully the last 10 years we've made Texas a better, freer, much more prosperous state to live and work and play.
Now, we launched in 2019, and the first time I remember seeing you on the floor was the Save the Chick-fil-A bill.
That's right.
And that had a bit of a rocky path, but you guys passed it.
That's exactly right.
And that is at least one of your marquee bills that you got done.
That's right. And I always called it the First Amendment Defense Act because nobody should ever be punished or penalized because who they support from a religious perspective, what church they go to, what things they donate to or associate with. And we saw that real life example down in San Antonio that they didn't want to extend a contract to Chick-fil-A because they'd given to such bigoted and awful organizations like the Salvation Army, right? And so once we got there, it was absurd. And we'd been pushing that for a while, but it really came into focus when you had that Chick-fil-A versus San Antonio issue, and that's why I was glad we were able to use that opportunity to show people this is a real-world issue. We need to take action on it.
So outside of legislation, what are some of your takeaways from your time in the legislature in terms of how things get done? What are the difficulties? What are the easy things that you can do? Just give us a review of that.
That's right. I think what I've been telling a lot of the incoming freshmen, we've got a lot of great ones. And actually, the guy taking House District 93, Nate Schatzline, young guy, energy, passionate, he's going to do a great job. So we've been talking a lot about, what to expect and what to. And I always tell them, manage your expectations because you want to come in, you want to change the world that first session. But there's only so much bandwidth in a session. There's only so much emphasis placed on certain issues. So manage those expectations, but also cultivate relationships. And that's how a lot of things get done in the Texas House. I know it's frustrating to a lot of people. It should only be about policy. And at the end of the day, we need to make sure we're having good policy. But if you don't take the time to build those relationships, it makes those policies a lot harder to come by. And so I encourage everybody coming in new, take the time to build those relationships with people you agree with people you don't agree with, because those relationships help you later on as you're trying to push your legislative policies.
What was the hardest thing about being in the legislature?
For me personally, it was being away from the family. I've got a beautiful wife. I've got 5 incredible kids. I like being with them. I think they like being around me. And so being away from them so much, especially every other year from January through May. And if you ask them, they loved Dad being in the Texas House. My wife was incredibly supportive. But I think they all said, just like the Bible says, there's a season for everything. 10 years is a long time to serve the state of Texas in this role. We've been able to do that. And so they're ready for Dad to get home, for their husband to be home. So that was by far the hardest thing, is just being away from the family and the sacrifices you had to make there.
I remember seeing your kids got to go up at the speaker's dais and gavel in, I believe.
That's
right.
Right.
A spitting image of you.
Yeah, that's right.
I couldn't tell who was who while you were standing up there. What was by far and away the best thing for you about legislature?
I think kind of what you were just talking about, that unique opportunity to give your family some of those experiences most other kids and most other families don't get to have. I mean, how many kids have actually gotten to gavel in a session or gotten to be on the House floor when you're debating bills and things like that? So there's unique experiences and blessings that you've gotten being in the State House that most people don't get to experience. And I would say kind of the fraternity of the House. I'm going to miss that as well. I played sports growing up, loved playing sports. And there's a certain kind of camaraderie that you build in that crucible of a sports team. You can't really replicate that many other places except for the House. You're there for a long time together, long hours, stressful times, joyful times, frustrating times. And so it's just a unique environment and experience that you can't really replicate anywhere else. And now I feel like I know people all over the state, whether it's El Paso, Amarillo, Lubbock, East Texas, South Texas, Central Texas. I know somebody in each part of the state that I can call and ever say, hey, what's it like over there if you ever get in an issue or need anything? So that's kind of unique as well, knowing somebody from all over the state, having those friendships and relationships, and that's something I'm certainly going to miss.
Last one for you. What's next for you?
That's a great question. We're taking applications now. So everybody said, what happens if you lose? I'm such an optimist. I always feel like we're going to win. And we had that kind of burn the ships kind of mentality of, hey, we're all in 100%. So after the last election results and the runoff didn't go our way, we're kind of reassessing now. And so there will be an opportunity out there. But I told my wife, if we can impact the culture, advance the kingdom, and provide for the family, that's what I'll feel good about doing. So that's what we're looking to do, and we'll see where we go from there.
And at the very least, you get to spend more time with the family in the meantime.
Exactly, and that's a win above everything else. So it's going to be great.
Well, State Rep Krause, thanks for being here.
Thank you, and thank you for the work y'all are doing.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.